M's are not funny.
Just K, I know.
Cupcake is funny. Tomatoes is not funny. Lettuce is not funny.
You've explained that to me since I was 5. Look, I've got to get back to the office.
Cucumber's funny.
It's getting cold out. I'm going to give you money. I want you to take a cab.
Cab is funny.
Are you listening to me?
Cockroach is funny. Not if you get them, only if you say them.
Will you listen to me?
Hey, little respect.
How about some respect for me? I'm a human being, too.
We'll see. You're young. You got time yet.
He built a career complaining, annoying, arguing, sneering, whining, and audiences loved it all. He was the original Grinch with a heart, and there will never be another like him. In the next half hour, we will review the life of an actor who played everything from a grumpy old man to one half of a very famous odd couple. This is a special tribute to America's favorite curmudgeon, Walter Matthau. The rumpled looks, shuffling walk, and smart mouth made Walter Matthau memorable.
Working. I'm just looking for girls.
But it was his charm and distinct features which made him a star. Matthau made his big screen debut at 25, starring in The Kentuckian with Burt Lancaster.
I'd like to have a matching tie and handkerchief. Nothing flashy, maybe something like this.
11 years later, he won his first Oscar playing ambulance chaser Whiplash Willie in The Fortune Cookie. The film starred another young comedian named Jack Lemmon.
What are you trying to pull? I'm perfectly all right.
One thing I hate is a patient who makes his own diagnosis.
The duo that would reunite throughout both of their long careers hit a high point with one of the funniest and most popular buddy films of all time. Sloppy sports writer Oscar Madison was a perfect fit for Matthau and one of his most memorable roles, one which earned him a Tony Award for Best Acting during The Odd Couple's successful run on Broadway.
You're not going to make any effort to change? This is the person you're going to be until the day you die?
We are what we are.
Hollywood would come back to the Matthau-Lemmon well again and again over the years, in Grumpy Old Men, and even a sequel to The Odd Couple.
Hey, why don't you use a handkerchief so you don't get the peach juice all over me, huh?
You think we're pulling into the Pebble Beach Country Club?
Matthau could do more than make people laugh. He sang with Barbra Streisand in Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you here where you belong.
And fought the mob in Charlie Varick.
How much money we talking about?
A lot.
A whole lot?
A whole lot.
But comedy was what he loved, and what moviegoers loved to see.
First base, second base.
We have to do that one. It's so corny.
Come on, now listen to me. Once more with feeling. First
From the boozing pool man turned Little League coach of Bad News Bears to Dennis the Menace's long-suffering neighbor, Mr. Wilson, Mathau's affable curmudgeon never went out of style. Joining us now is a columnist and friend of Walter Matthau, Jeannie Wolf, out in Los Angeles. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi. You know, Jack Lemmon's been saying he feels like he lost a brother. I feel like I lost kind of an uncle. Maybe we all feel that way.
I think everyone loved this man. Why? Why do you think he was so beloved?
He was crotchety, just as you expect from seeing him on film, but he was also completely unpretentious. There wasn't a phony bone in his body. You know, you just hear across the room, "Hi, honey, get a hug." He had a kind word to say to everybody or a sharp word to say. He was funny, he was interesting, he was smart, and he was just plain good soul.
And in addition to America's loss, as you mentioned, Jack Lemmon, I'm guessing, is devastated today.
I think he'll probably be one of the people who's the most hurt by this loss. I mean, he was always at the hospital when Jack was ill. They had a rapport that was inexplainable. And as Jack said in his statement, we've lost one of the best damn actors you'll ever see. And as a team, they're irreplaceable.
They made 10 films together. What was it about their chemistry, you think, that made audiences line up?
You know, they couldn't explain that themselves. They clicked, they danced together. They had that thing that we try to call chemistry. And I've been out with them socially. They finish each other's stories. They laugh at each other's jokes, even though they must have heard them all 50 times. They are, in person, in a lot of ways, opposites, and yet there's something about them that meshed and that knew what to do to make each other funny, to make each other poignant, to make the script work.
And never had a falling out, never were at odds.
You know, I can hardly think of anybody who had a falling out with Walter Matthau. The only time you could just inspire his wrath is if in any way you didn't treat his wife Carol right, because he loved her so much, and he fiercely protected his son Charlie. Charlie was the love of his life. And I can remember one time on the Grass Harp, I had to do a phone interview with Walter, who was on location. And the Grass Harp also had Jack Lemmon in it. And there were all kinds of items in the trade papers here that Walter was giving the studio a hard time because the studio was giving his son, who was the director of that film, a hard time. And Walter said, those suits aren't going to tell us, you know, actors and creators what to do. He and Jack Lemmon staged kind of a sit-out, and the film proceeded the way Walter wanted it. So you didn't cross him when it came to his family, but otherwise, here wasn't a guy that made any enemies.
We'll show those suits we mean business. I can hear him now.
Oh, can't you?
And why was it that he was so able to go from playing in comedy to drama with audiences still not complaining?
You know, there was something about his heart, something about his long years of observation. He would tell you he started on the stage in Yiddish theater. He came from hard times. He was grateful, and he was a great observer of other human beings. He was one of those people who could be in a room and understand everything that was going on. And you know, there's another factor about Walter. He was a sexy guy, and it takes that to be a leading man. It was completely believable that Sophia Loren, one of the sexiest women in the world, would fall for him in grumpier old men. So all these young stars who are worried about high cheekbones and muscle definition should take a look at Walter. He had a great sense of humor and just a laugh and a sort of humanity that came from very deep.
Well, wherever he is right now, he's smiling that you have characterized him as sexy, I'm sure. What was he planning on? What was going to come next for him? What was he working on?
I don't think there was a specific project in mind, but I can tell you if health problems hadn't intervened, the thing about Walter Matthau is even at his age, he was box office. There were scripts coming every day. There were offers coming every day. There were people who wanted him to be in his film. He wasn't, you know, one of those people who you offered a part as a courtesy or as a curiosity.
No, he could carry a movie.
Absolutely. He was viable, he was strong, and even though we knew over the years that he had lots of problems with his health, his spirit never flagged, and that's hard to find. That star power and that great spirit is hard to find at any age.
It is indeed. Jeannie Wolf, thanks for your memories, and we appreciate your joining us for this special.
I love Walter, and I'm glad to share any insight into what a wonderful guy he was.
You and the rest of the world, thanks again. And when we return, still more about the actor Walter Matthau.
I'm looking for the doctor.
Are you sick?
Are you the doctor?
Yes.
Then I'm going to be sick.
Sit down.